Good evening. Would everyone please rise? We'll be led in prayer by Alderman Bill Nash.
Almighty God, we ask for the blessings upon the members of this council as we assemble here in this chamber to conduct the ongoing business of our city. With your guidance, we will strive to ensure that all our decisions are for the common good, and your inspiration will instill respect, compassion, and thoughtfulness in all of our deliberations. Give us the strength and wisdom to lead by example as the people's representatives, and that peace and harmony will mark all our proceedings and keep us faithful to the trust placed in us by the citizens of our community. Amen.
Alderman Gould, please.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Sure, this is all.
Citizen comment general, 30 minutes.
Good evening, everyone. I declare citizen comment general will be open at this time. Those who signed up on the sign-up sheet, I have with me David Horst, please. Thanks.
Members of the City Council, City Manager Solomon, heads of city departments present this evening. My name is the Reverend David Horst. I am chair of the Norwich Area Interfaith Association, minister of the Unitarian Universalist Congregation of Norwich. I am employed as a homeless outreach worker in southeastern Connecticut, and I'm a resident of Norwich. Members of Norwich Interfaith are here this evening to request the mayor and the city council support for an overnight winter warming center to serve the unsheltered homeless citizens of Norwich during nights of severe cold weather. We have been in regular conversation with the city manager and staff regarding our proposal, as well as Senator Kathy Austin, and we thank them for their interest and their engagement. Before we present the need and our specific proposal, let me first name and acknowledge the depth of resources that we are fortunate to have in Norwich and in southeastern Connecticut. The City of Norwich has a strong municipal infrastructure, police, fire, emergency services, human service department, and a staff overseen by a professional city manager. Uncas Health District and the Red Cross provide various supports and services. Specific funding is available through the state of Connecticut Department of Housing for winter warming centers. The City of Norwich has an extensive nonprofit social service network, notably St. Vincent de Paul Place, Reliance Health, Thames Valley Council for Community Action, Thames River Family Services, Southeastern Council on Alcohol and Drug Dependency, SCAD, Southeastern Council and SMA, Southeastern Mental Health Authority, and of course, recovery services, transitional housing at Reliance Health, Bacchus Hospital and American Ambulance providing emergency medical services. There is also the Norwich Community Care Team that meets weekly at Reliance Health to review and assess the current living situations and needs of our homeless citizens. Kathy Austin, our state senator, and State Representative Darrell Wilson and Kevin Ryan are effective advocates and funders for the Norwich area and its low-income and homeless citizens. Norwich homeless service providers closely partner with the New London Homeless Hospitality Center, which is available to provide technical support. And then finally, we have an active and engaged Norwich Area Interfaith Association, effectively mobilizes the area's diverse faith community for advocacy and community service. Let me introduce Jill Corbin.
The next person that signed up is Jillian Corbin.
Good evening. My name is Jill Corbin, and I reside at 40 Allen Drive in Uncasville. I am the director of St. Vincent de Paul Place and have been a member of the Norwich Clergy Association, which is now referred to as the Norwich Interfaith Association, as well as a member of the Norwich Community Care Team since 2008. Established in 1998, the Norwich Community Care Team is a collaborative effort of municipal, local, and state health and human service agencies and the clergy who have banded together explicitly for the purpose of finding long-term solutions to serving chronically unsheltered people. The community care team meets weekly year-round with an identified goal of providing services to adults in the Norwich community that none of our agencies could provide alone. Among other goals, the team is committed to serving single adults who would otherwise sleep outside during the harshest part of the winter. Following the deaths of 2 unsheltered people in Norwich, the City of Norwich, along with community partners and volunteers, hosted an overnight warming center called the Hospitality Center during the winter months from 2002 to 2013. Its last location was at the Buckingham Memorial Building at 307 Main Street. The Hospitality Center was open from the coldest months of November through March from about 7 p.m. to 7 a.m. When it closed in 2013, the average number of people staying per night was 12. At that time, the numbers of unsheltered people were dropping as the rental stock in the area was good and reasonably priced. As a result, there was a retooling of the crisis response system toward a regional approach with rapid rehousing funds to help people find transitional and permanent housing. Any person who was not diverted from shelter, especially during the cold weather months, were primarily referred to shelters in New London, Willimantic, and Danielson. During the winter, these shelters offer warming centers and overflow shelters with additional spaces for people to get inside and warm up during the coldest nights. In Norwich, during the winter months, a daily extreme weather report is sent out to the community partners, including city, fire, police, American Ambulance, and hospital. The number of unsheltered people in the Norwich area has risen sharply in the past 3 years. On November 15th, 2022, there were 43 unsheltered people that we were aware of staying outside. On November 15th, 2023, there were 53 unsheltered people. On November 15th, 2024, we had 86 unsheltered people on the report, which is a 100% increase in 2022. Although individuals are sleeping in tents, parking garages, abandoned buildings, and vehicles and are at risk of hypothermia and injury when nighttime temperatures dip below freezing. Although we understand that some people who are living outside may not elect to go to any shelter or warming center, others who are not equipped to handle the frigid temperatures, including the elderly and disabled, would go inside. May I continue, Mayor?
I think we should get to the others who signed up, just so that they're included, but thank you so much. Eric Heinrich?
Good evening. I am Reverend Eric Heinrich. I am pastor at St. Mark Lutheran Church here in Norwich at 248 Broadway. I reside at 41 Brent Road in Manchester, Connecticut. I would like to say that what we are requesting as an interfaith association is a 10 to 15 bed overnight winter warming center with separate areas for men and women equipped with accessible restrooms, a common area, and storage located in or near downtown Norwich with access to services and public transportation. We would like to see it open from approximately 5 p.m. to 7 a.m. during the days when the governor declares a statewide severe weather protocol. Additionally, we'd like to see it staffed by an on-call paid coordinator and assistant with support from community volunteers and nonprofit agencies equipped with necessary sanitation, health, and safety items. Thank you for your time.
Thank you, sir. Lionel Axon.
Hello.
Linnell.
Protocol already having been established. My name is Reverend Linnell Axon, and I am an ordained clergy from the Evans Memorial AME Zion Church down on 2 McKinley Avenue. We're here talking about a warming shelter. And in 1990, I was of the homeless community here in Norwich, Connecticut. And somebody thought it wise enough to give us a place to have a shelter in the old Salvation Army building, and we used to go over there at 6 o'clock every night. And I was so grateful that we had somewhere to go instead of trying to find somewhere to sleep outside, like they said, when it's cold, and we have to, in Norwich, citizens of Norwich, we have to pay to put these people into hotels and the like that, instead of having a warming shelter that they can stay in. Me being a part of the homeless shelter back in those days, today, I am very, very grateful, because if it had not been those homeless shelters then, I don't know where I would be. And today, I am an upstanding citizen of the city of Norwich. I am an ordained elder. I'm an ordained clergy. I also sit on the Rotary Community Corps. I am chair of the NAACP. Women in NAACP. I'm a member of the executive board of the NAACP, and also Rotary Community Corps. Did I say that? Okay. And so I'm an upstanding citizen, and I want you guys to know, if you would consider giving us a homeless shelter or a warming center here for our homeless, because we want people to locate here to Norwich, Connecticut. And we want people to feel free that when they come into Norwich and they see homeless people all over the place, downtown in our city of Norwich, they see them on the sidewalks. It's not a good look for us Norwich people, not at all. What does that say about us? Thank you.
Thank you, Linnell. David Holland, please. All right, thank you. Judith Post, please.
Good evening, friends. I'm happy to be here and to register the comments that show that there are people here in Norwich that really care and that are doing their best to see if they can get a program together that works for this problem. But I think I sit with the interfaith group and listen to the reports on the consultations and realize that it's complicated. But where there is a will, there is a way. And I want to know that I live in a place where caring for people and their lives and their safety, that's placed highest on the list. Because it doesn't matter what improvements you're trying to make anywhere, if you don't preserve and protect the lives of your citizens, none of the rest of it means anything. I guess I should have said that I live in Norwich at 46 Sandy Lane, and that I'm very interested in what's going on in the community and hope that this project will move forward and that we can work together. Thank you.
Thank you. The next signature, I believe it says Saul Addis.
Primarily, my name is Dan Addis. I'm inclined to believe most of the people here that are bringing this issue of homelessness to those that are unfortunately, due to circumstances beyond their control, are downtrodden. But I also like to point out the many blatant wastes that should not have happened. That money that was wasted on a useless roundabout in the downtown area, which does nothing for this area. It does not draw businesses. It does not draw people to this area. That money, I feel, should have taken and been put to better use to aid these individuals who want to help the homeless. Every other project, unfortunately, that has come up here is nothing short of a blatant waste. If you want to minimize the homelessness that's plaguing this area, and not just here, but all surrounding areas, take the funds where they should be placed. And these groups here are the ones who need it more. The pet projects and everything else that has occurred here so far, those are of no importance whatsoever. Because as I said before, the pet projects, that useless roundabout has done nothing for this area. Nothing. It has not brought businesses, it has not brought tourism to this area. But where I think it should be better set is for the homeless due to their unforeseen circumstances. In fact, what should be done is a from homeless to work program that can help the homeless get jobs and get them out of their situation. That's where our tax dollars should be going, and not to a useless project that does nothing for this area.
Thank you. David, can I read the last name?
I'm his brother, Dave Addis. Excuse me? Don't be disrespectful. I don't like disrespect. A grant was given to paint some of the streets. Can I ask why? What is that supposed to do for this town? That grant, like my brother said, could have maybe partially helped out at least a few months for anybody that is unfortunate or downtrodden. I am not one of these homeless people like I've just been insulted right now. There's no need to paint the streets unless you're putting safety markers on the sidewalks, like red zones or yellow zones. That should be as far as it goes, not to anything that doesn't make any kind of sense. I've seen, done, and been through it all. That painting of the streets does not suit any purpose here either. There's human beings out there that are about to face the worst that is coming this way. And believe me when I tell you, we are headed for a very more severe winter than last year. Now, last year we were lucky. This time, we might not be. But then again, who else is unlucky? Is someone out there, God forbid, trying his best to stay warm or to even stay alive? I'm sorry, but common sense has to start prevailing. These people are human beings too. And I think they need more than some ridiculous graffiti project that doesn't make any sense. We need to dump that idea. These people's lives are completely at risk. That can cause a lot of sleepless nights when we didn't act in time to save that one man or one woman who froze to death. And God forbid if any of these people have kids too. The last thing we need to be doing is spending it on nonsense. This is important. Like I said, winter's coming and it's bringing hell with it.
Thank you. There are others who'd like to address the council at this time, an open citizen comment. That completes the list of who signed. Oh, please, yes.
Good evening. Before you start my time, may I ask if it's been ascertained that I don't have to disclose by laws, by rules? Has it been ascertained, Mr. Mayor?
Everyone identifies themselves as a courtesy, so we know who we're addressing, and we also like to know we're addressing Norwich residents, because this is their chamber.
I am a Norwich resident, and I have no problem disclosing, except it's a matter of principle. I've been here since August 19th, and I'll keep coming, because you should, all of you, should be concerned. I realize there's a lot more important matters, but this is a principle. It's infringing on my liberties. Before you started the time already?
Do you want me to stop?
If you even discuss it with the attorney, I mean, it's not a law and it's not a rule. In your rules, I showed it last time, it doesn't say anything about disclosing. You're mandating something that it's not proper. Like I said, I'm a photographer and you have my signature. Everybody knows me. It's not the point. Somebody like the lovely lady back there has no problem disclosing where she lives. Suppose I don't wish to. Is that okay with you? It's my liberties. You wish to infringe on my liberties? Is that what you want? I'll comply if that's what you want.
That people would be polite, as you are tonight,
Yes?
and that they would simply identify themselves. As a matter of record, that has been what this council and previous councils have always done. A person identifies themselves. We have an address, that way we know who gave statements or testimony, particularly in public hearings. That's very important, because we want to know the statements are attributed by someone who has a stake in here, particularly a taxpayer. The facts are, the courts have actually ruled that boards and commissions have the right to establish protocols in keeping with keeping the running and operations of the meeting. And that's all we've ever done. It doesn't have to be in our rules of procedure. It's what we've done as a matter of practice. And the courts have ruled that boards of commissions, boards of educations, they have the right to do that. It's not, I don't consider it an infringement. I really do
Mr.
not.
Mayor, it's infringing on my liberties.
That's your call.
And you'll continue to do this, and I'll continue to come, and I'll continue to bring forth the fact that the Fourth Amendment does not require me to tell you anything. I'm a citizen, I'm a resident, and I'm a taxpayer. That's all you need to know. You want me to show my driver license to the clerk without anybody else knowing?
That is not necessary, sir. We know who you are.
So what is the problem? We have to comply
I
with your...
think what is the point? Everyone knows who you are. When you come up to speak to us, we know you're Pietro Commendella, you live on Lambert Drive, that's not going to change. So just introduce yourself, that's all it is, an introduction.
Infringing on my liberties. It's making me do something that tonight I don't feel like it. You're making me, otherwise you're going to call the lovely city officer to remove me from the podium, like you did on August 19th. Is that what you're going to do?
I asked him to help you find your seat and sit down.
No. You asked an armed officer with powers of arrest to bring me to my seat.
You were disrupting the meeting, you're closely approaching it once more.
Okay. My name is Pietro Rocchi Camardella, 79 Lambert Drive. I think you will be opening yourself, ask your attorney, by infringing on my rights, you are opening yourself and the city of Norwich on problems that I do not wish to address. But you're doing that because you're forcing people to do something that it's not lawful. It's not a mandate. It's not a law. It's not even written in your rules. But you're saying, oh, but we've been doing this all along. Well, tonight, I don't wish to disclose, but you made me. You're infringing on my constitutional rights to not address the way you want it. And that's the point. I'll be here next month, no problem.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else like to speak to the council at this time? Still have 5 more minutes of this portion of our meeting available. Does anyone else have anything else? Mrs. Filbert, please.
Joanne Philbrick, 10 Elm Avenue. I have to get my sugar under control because I literally am about to stroke out here. I just can't wrap my head around this place. I really can't. You let people come to the podium that don't live in the city, that didn't give their address. You engaged in a dialogue with Rocky. You violated your own rules of procedure, so you have opened the door. It's very confusing to the citizens of this city. I am shocked, but not surprised to hear their proposal. I want to know where they want to put it, because I'll tell you, don't even think about putting it at UCF as across the green from me, because I will chain myself to the fence. Don't even think about it. Don't even think about it. Where are you proposing to put it? Who's going to pay for it? And what impact will it have on the other citizens of this city? Some valid points were brought up. You categorically waste money. What is that fiasco down in Franklin Square? You're going to put up you got a big cement thing that's off kilter from everything else. Where are you going to put the Christmas tree? It's stupid. It's stupid. And I came back from Lisbon today and I drove through this city and I said to myself, oh my God, what is happening here? The abandoned buildings, the fires, the crime, the wasting of money, the plan, the vision. They're absolutely right. What you don't need to paint bookends on the sidewalks when there are people sleeping in the streets. I said last time that I was going to try to be a kinder, gentler person, but you are forcing me to be something that I do not want to be. Because my quality of life at 82 years of age is just as important as anybody else's. You need to take the blinders off and look at what this city has become. And the last thing I'm going to say is a parting shot. Today, I feel validated and vindicated because 73 million people in this country have said, enough is enough. So you have a choice. You can either lead, follow, or get out of the way because change is coming.
Thank you. Can anyone else like to address the council at this time?
Good evening. Rodney Boy, 62 Roosevelt Avenue. I own a lot of property in this city. I pay a lot of taxes. And I cannot believe that you folks are still on the track to tear down the mill in my neighborhood. $195,000 to go into that. Now, I understand that somebody wants to make a park out of this particular building. I can't believe it. You already have a park at the end of Roosevelt Avenue. The Greenville Dam and its acreage is a perfect place for a park. And over the years, it has been used for a park many, many times. Now, as far as the taxes go, I run into a lot of people, older people mostly, pay a lot of taxes. Me too. I pay about, I don't know, $30,000, $40,000 taxes every stinking year. And I own a lot of apartment houses. Now, I hear all this bull about building homeless houses, elderly houses. I own a lot of that stuff. I currently have some houses where people are 60, 70, 80 years old. I'm 83 myself. Now, I always worked for a living. I've been retired for quite a while, but every day I drive down the street, I run onto a homeless person at the bottom of 8th Street. And these guys are standing there with a help me signs. If I could stop them from doing some of the things they do, they wouldn't be homeless. They'd have a good place to live. If they wanted to rent an apartment from me, I'm sure they could find one, if I'd accept them. Now, I just want you folks to understand that the people of Norwich really, really need some help. Not me. I'm old, and I can provide for myself. That's what a working person does, isn't it? If you don't want to work, what do you expect? Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else wants to address the council at this time? Anyone else wants to address the council at this time? Anyone else wants to address the council at this time? Seeing none, I declare this closed. Thank you all.
Petition and Communications number 1, resignation from the Norwich Housing Authority.
Thank you. At this time, I'd ask for a motion that this be received. Alderwoman Gould, second Alderwoman Hayes. Is there discussion? Seeing none, a roll call, please.
Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Hayes?
Yes.
Alderman Bettencourt?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Singh?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Vote is 7-0. Thank you. Motion passes.
Number 2, progress report of community rating activity 510, floodplain management planning.
Motion, please. Bring it to the floor. Alderman Nash, second Alderwoman Hayes. Is there discussion? Seeing none, roll call.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Hayes?
Yes.
Alderman Bettencourt? Alderwoman Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Singh?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Thank you. Motion is adopted 7-0. It is received.
City Manager's report.
Thank you. This is the city manager's report for November 18th, 2024. Meetings attended with the Southeast Council of Government meeting, Legislative Committee and Board of Directors meeting, NCDC Executive Board of Directors meeting, NPU City Coordination meeting, Jubilee Park Coordination meeting, and CIF Stakeholders meeting. Public Works full bag leaf pickup started today. The city's paving contractor has completed the paving for this construction season with Upper Browning Road for a total of 4.8 miles of paving under this contract. The Norwich Fire Department high fire danger / red flag warning is still in effect until further notice. All open burning in Norwich is prohibited, and previously issued open permits are invalid based on current conditions. Rain is anticipated this week, hopefully, and it will hopefully alleviate the current conditions. Thank you for your continued cooperation. Youth Family Services Coordinator held a training for new police recruits regarding the youth diversion team and restorative justice practices. YFS is holding a donation drive, Pack the Pantry, for non-perishable food items and hygiene products, etc. And the Senior Center is collecting for St. Vincent de Paul Miracle Bag Program until December 13th. The Registrar's Office would like to thank all the election workers and early voting workers who did such an outstanding job helping Norwich vote, with 70% of voters in Norwich coming out to vote, either through absentee, early voting, or at the polls. It was the effort and diligence that made the difference. Special thanks to the City Clerk's Office, Building Maintenance, and our IT department. The city will be holding a tax sale on December 4th at 9:30 a.m. in room 335 of City Hall. Information about the sale and the list of properties is available on ctttaxsales.com. The City Hall holiday tree will arrive on December 19th, and the Public Works fabricated tree will be placed in the round again this year. Thank you to Denise Guillemente of Basra for donating the 35-foot spruce tree. The 33rd Light Up City Hall will be held the first Friday in December 6th from 5 to 6 p.m. at City Hall Plaza, followed by the Tommy Toy Fun Run. On Saturday, December 7th, the Norwich Events Organization will host the city's light parade. Please join us downtown for these free, fun family events, including Brown Park, which will be decorated with white lights again this year. And that concludes my report for this evening.
Thank you, John. Other questions at this time? Alderman Nash.
I was just wondering where we stand and the update for the fire chiefs meetings and where we are right now.
I made a proposal to the fire chiefs on clarifying their lawsuit potential, and I hope to hear back from them this week that they accept it. If they do, then we move forward in a positive way.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate the update.
Thank you. Are there other questions? Yes, Alderman Singh.
Thank you very much, Mr. Mayor. So, John, I just have one suggestion, keeping in mind all these fire dangers, that all the city-owned unoccupied building or boarded-up buildings that we have, at least somebody should kind of do a drive-by or something to make sure nobody else is living there or putting themselves in a harm's way. I don't know if we have a protocol to check these things or not, but
Well, it is part of patrol responsibility to look at unoccupied buildings and report back if they see any activity which is not in conjunction with the use of the building.
okay, thank you. And just one last thing. There's an invitation from Norwich Public School Education Foundation in regards to 2024 Fall East event that they have at Kelly Middle School this Friday, 22nd at 6:30.
Thank you.
So just want to share that with everyone on the council. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Are there further questions or comments at this time? Seeing none, thank you, John.
You're welcome.
Citizen comment on new business resolutions listed below.
Thank you. I declare citizen comment on the 6 resolutions in our agenda to be open. If anyone wishes to speak to those resolutions at this time, you are welcome to do so. Does anyone wish to address the council on any of the 6 resolutions? Again, does anyone want to address the council on, please, Ms. Philbrick.
Joanne Philbrick, 10 Elm Avenue. Couple of things. I'm still confused about the transferring of the $196,000. I'm getting conflicting reports, and I don't feel comfortable with it. The other thing is resolution number 6. I thought our goal was to grow the grand list, so I'm a little conflicted about giving a 7-year deferred assessment for South Hills LLC, which is currently a vacant piece of land assessed at $1 million something. I just really feel that one of your top priorities should be communicating and engaging with the citizens, primarily the taxpayers, the people that pay the bills. I ask a lot of questions. I do it because I'm interested, I'm engaged. I don't do it to be a pain in the ass. Which, by the way, an elected official recently at a public meeting, I didn't even have my green light yet. At a recent public meeting, an elected official, not one of you, turned around and said to me, "Do you ever stop bitching?" This was from an elected official. I've also had some derogatory, I wouldn't get up here and point a finger at you and call you a name. I might be thinking it in my mind, but I wouldn't vocalize it. You have to understand. I mean that literally and figuratively. That everybody matters. Stop pandering. Stop pontificating to certain groups. These people came, they did their little song, dog and pony show, and then they got up and left. Why? Because they're not interested in anything else that goes on in this city. They're only interested in that. And that should speak volumes to you. There are some of us that come almost every week. Some speak, some don't, but we're engaged. We care. And categorically, we are vilified over and over again. Oh, there she comes again. She wants more information. Why do you want to know that? What are you going to do with that? It's my right. If I'm buying a house or a car or going to the doctors, I ask a million questions. I don't understand why everything here has to be a fight. I just recently was going through minutes and I read that these guys brewing, I read this in the planning board minutes, these guys brewing, who you collectively, the city, has bent over backwards and kissed their butt for years and years and years. Oh, they're going to go to the YMCA. They're not going there. They're not going there. Dumb and Dumber, or Dumb and Dumber. You need to wake up because, as I said recently, 75 million people have spoken, and they have said enough BS. The gravy train is over, and change is coming. And we have an opportunity to do the right thing. So I'm asking you, why are you deferring for 7 years? Perhaps it's under the, I forget what that term is. The Sachem Fund, $50,000 for the 250th anniversary. I live in that neighborhood. I have asked, I live in a 290-year-old house. I have asked questions, and they were like, "We don't want to hear from you. Go away. You're a Republican. We don't want to hear from you." And when you treat me like that, I will come after you. Because it shows me that you, and when I say you, I mean categorically, you have no interest in what I have to say. And I have said it for years and years and years, and I get emotional because I'm old. It's better to have me as your advocate than your adversary. And yet, one or two of you will reach out to me, and the rest of you act like I don't even exist. And sometimes it hurts my feelings, and other times I'm like, I'm better than you are because at least I am willing to put myself out there. John, I sent you an email. The other day I tried to go on Vision Appraisal. It was down. You didn't respond to my email. You not care? Do you not, oh, it's her again. What does she want? I'm trying to work with you. You posted something on the website on the agenda. I sent an email to Orla because I didn't understand it. She was like, "Oh my God, we made a mistake. Thank you for bringing it to our attention." It's not my job to make sure that the city does what they're supposed to. If you want me to be some sort of liaison, I would be more than happy to help you with whatever you need. But you continually shut me out, you shut Rocky out. I look too, there is nothing in the rules that say you have to state your name. So I'm going, Peter, I understand.
We're
but-
drifting now. We need to speak to the resolutions,
Okay.
please.
So, like I said, I don't understand the Sachem for, I'd be curious what the $50,000 is for. And if somebody could get me, back to me on the deferred assessment.
Thank you. Can anyone like to address the city on the 6 resolutions on our agenda at this time, please? Please?
Do I have to state my name again, or is it the same?
It's just a courtesy we show each other, that's all.
Regarding this resolution, I've been a citizen of Norwich, a resident, since December 1981, let's say 1982. This past July, my taxes went up $1,000. I would like to ask each and every one of you, what am I getting for $1,000 more on a modest house? We don't have a garage.
Are you addressing a resolution before us tonight?
Yes.
Which one, please?
Number 6.
Okay, thank you.
So I would like to know why my taxes go up $1,000 on a modest house. $1,000 to me, it's a lot of money. And I'm sure other residents feel the same. We all were very upset on July 1st when we got the increase. And the point of me being here is, relative to the city manager being authorized to defer assessment, how come the city manager doesn't come in my behalf and help me out with lessen the burden on my taxes? Why? I've been a lawful, law-abiding. We delivered 4 children at Bacchus Hospital. They're all college graduates. They're all very well established. Why I'm not part of this consideration? Who is this corporation? What do they do? How long have they been around? How much taxes have they paid? Don't matter. You see, as the lovely lady over here clearly stated, you don't care. You really don't care. You make smart faces, little grins. You really, really, really don't care. Now, the next month is going to be spending money at a police station. I would agree we need a new police station, but wouldn't it have been nice if you all knew what you were doing and my taxes decreased by $2,000 a year instead of increasing $1,000? Wouldn't it be nice for us to say, oh yeah, we can afford some money spent on a new police station or any other project? The fact of the matter is, you guys spend, the taxes go up, people leave Norwich, and we who remain get stuck with more taxes. You have no qualms how hard it is to pay $1,000 more a year, or even $800, or even $600. You don't care. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Anyone else like to address the council on resolutions before us, please? Can anyone want to address the council on the resolutions before us? Please, sir.
I'm sorry to have to say this, but I'm in complete agreement with Rocky.
Just for the record, your first name is
David.
David, correct? As opposed to your brother. Yeah.
Got nothing to do with what I got to say right
Do we have your address, please?
109 Whittington Avenue.
Thank you, sir.
I'm in agreement with Rocky with what he just said. My taxes went up too. What is the excuse? What kind of an excuse do any of you have? And I want to know which one of you is going to take the weight for this. I don't have the luxury of working 40 hours a week. I have to drive halfway across the state to go to my job in East Granby, and that's the only job I've got. That's the only thing that me and my brother have to survive on right now. And I'm sorry, but I don't have any respect for you at all. I have contempt. Contempt. What is the excuse for you jacking up my property taxes? And it is so bad that I can't even afford to have homeowners insurance. You're all to blame for that. You own this, whether you like it or you don't like it. And I don't care if you've asked me or not. You didn't ask me, you didn't ask Rocky, you didn't ask anybody here. You're the reason why people are leaving this town and heading south or heading to Texas. This is all your fault, and I'm going to say it one more time. You all own it. I am legally disabled right now. What are you going to take from me for that? I have a steel rod in my left leg, the result of an accident. July 18th, 2022. My parents are gone. But when my parents were around, things were better. I'm going to denounce your town as nothing short of a ghetto, because all of you have turned this town into a ghetto. I'm going to ask you one more time before I walk away from here. Which one of you is going to take the weight? Because I'm not going to own it. I refuse to own anything that you try to sell me. And those decrepit properties you got are your problem, not mine. I am not paying for any decrepit property in the ghetto. That's it.
Thank you, sir. Can anyone else like to address the council on the 6 resolutions at this time? Anyone else like to address the council on the 6 resolutions at this time? Anyone else like to address the council on the 6 resolutions at this time? Seeing no one else, I then declare it closed. Thank you all.
Number 1, relative to the reallocation of funding in the Capital Improvement Fund.
Thank you. At this time, I'd ask for a motion to bring this to the floor. Is there such a motion, please? Alderwoman Hayes, is there a second? Alderman Gould, is there discussion? Seeing none, roll call, please.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Hayes? Alderman Bettencourt?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould? Alderman Singh? President Pro Tem DeLucia? Yes. Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Thank you. The motion is adopted 7-0.
Number 2, relative to Sachem Fund Board approvals to be paid out of the Sachem Fund.
Thank you. A motion, please, to bring this to the floor. Alderwoman Hayes, is there a second, please? Alderwoman Gould, is there discussion? Alderman Nash.
I just wanted to comment on the Sachem Fund in general. I was one of the first chairmen of the Sachem Fund when it first was enacted. And over the course of the many years that or at least almost a decade, the Sachem Fund has contributed funds with the help of the Mohegan tribal nation and has helped many organizations within the city of Norwich survive and perform some amazing things for the city of Norwich over the course of the years. And I hope that somehow we figure out how to continue with the tribe to maintaining this for a few more years. But I just wanted to say that over the years, it's done a great service to the city of Norwich.
Thank you. Is there further discussion? Okay. Just for the public record, this represents a portion of the remaining funds in the Sachem Fund. There will still be approximately $54,000. The remaining balance, it is the intent of the Sachem Fund to accept requests for proposals again in January. The remainder of those dollars, I want to put that out on the public record. The point would be to receive those RFPs. They'll be issued through the city's purchasing agent, Mr. Castronova, and decision will be made in March at that time on what to do with the remaining dollars. If there's no further comment, I'd ask for a roll call, please.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderman Hayes?
Yes.
Alderman Bettencourt?
Yes.
Alderman Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Singh?
Yes.
Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes, the motion is adopted 7-0.
Number 3, relative to Youth Advisory regular member appointment.
Thank you. A motion, please, to bring this to the floor. Alderwoman Gould, second. Alderman Nash, is there discussion? Seeing none. This is an appointed the council approve a regular member of the Youth Service Advisory Board, and please forgive my pronunciation, Yariana Perez, is that close? Is being appointed. Thank you. A roll call, please.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Hayes?
Yes.
Alderman Bettencourt?
Yes.
Alderwoman Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Singh?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Thank you. The motion is passed. It is adopted on 7-0 vote.
Number 4, relative to approving, completing, and filing Round 6 CIF grant application.
Thank you. At this time, I'd ask for a motion, please. Alderwoman Gould, second Alderman Bettencourt. Is there discussion? Seeing there's no discussion, this resolution is an application for Round 6 for the Community Investment Fund, and we're looking to upgrade Fontaine Field so that the facilities there, one, also is then something more useful to the senior citizens who frequent the senior center, as well as various youth athletic leagues, probably NFA continue to use it for a soccer field, but more so a walking track for the public, the people here of the city of Norwich, that will be safer, more manageable, and so forth. Thank you. Roll call, please.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Hayes?
Yes.
Alderman Bettencourt? Yes. Alderwoman Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Singh?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia?
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Thank you. That resolution is adopted 7-0.
Number 5, relative to amendment of existing American Rescue Act Plan Act allocations.
Thank you. A motion, please, to bring this to the floor. Alderwoman Gould, is there a second? Alderman Singh, is there discussion? Yes, President Pro Tem.
I have a few questions for the city manager on this particular reallocation.
Could please go forward.
And I don't know if colleagues here on the council or if you, John, saw the Facebook announcement about a local restaurant business in downtown announcing that they would be moving to the marina as a result of the project that this transfer intends to fund. Did you see that?
I haven't seen the Facebook.
So it has been posted. So that apparently that's a thing. The new project, ARP 71, is intended for the restaurant on the marina, and one of our downtown businesses is intending to move there. That's a fact. I wasn't sure if you saw that, but that did happen. All right, so I know the first time that we put this out here, I raised the concern that we are spending almost $197,000 of the remaining ARPA money to help an existing business move from point A to point B.
No. No, there was a draft error in the first resolution that was sent to council. It was corrected. This 196 is for a match to be used for the rehab project for Capart Mill demolition.
Thank you. So that was my very next question.
Okay.
It was like, how did we get from that last conversation, I don't know if it was the last council meeting, I think it was the one before that, to this point we are where we are now. So the concerns that we raised, because there was more than just me, the concerns that we raised about, spending ARPA money to move businesses around, that's been disposed of, taken care of, passed on.
That particular draft was in fact an error.
Yeah.
And the correct one that is before us is that the funds are only used because we are required to provide a matching grant. If one recalls, we were grateful to receive a $4 million brownfield grant to begin the cleanup of Cape Art Mill. Since then, we've received another grant from Community Investment Funds of $7.8 million. And to address some comments made tonight, that will clean up that site. It will remove the risk of the community for continued fires or arson on that site, which have happened. It will remove people living on that derelict site, which is a risk to their health and safety. It will also help clean up drug use on that site and remove it from Greenville's neighborhood while restoring and cleaning that piece of land which sits in the Shetucket River, literally, because there's an active canal that Norwich Public Utility actually still generates some power through that is maintained there. But this is a matching grant that we need to provide, and it was felt that this was a good use of those funds to ensure the security of those two grants I mentioned earlier, and that's all this is.
And thank you for that, and I'm 100% behind that project, and that was really where my question came from, because again, it felt like this was an overlap of two different projects with the same money trying to go to two different places. That's really where my questions were coming from, and I didn't have a chance to call the city manager during the day today. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate the ability to clarify. Are there other comments or concerns at this time? Seeing none, then a roll call, please.
Alderman Nash?
Yes.
Alderwoman Hayes?
Yes.
Alderman Bettencourt?
Yes.
Gould?
Yes.
Alderman Singh?
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia? Yes. Mayor Nystrom?
Yes. Thank you. That resolution is adopted 7-0.
Relative to the city manager being authorized to defer assessment increases for South Hills Mill LLC for 7 years at 3 North C Street.
Thank you. Is there a motion, please, to bring this to the floor at this time? Alderwoman Gould. Alderman Nash is the second. Is there discussion? Alderman Bettencourt.
I'm just going to ask, what was this is an enterprise zone lookalike, from the looks of the resolution, correct?
That is correct. And unlike the enterprise zone, which does not need city council approval, this in fact does. This was a program, I believe, adopted by a council around 1998 as a means to encourage economic development throughout the entire city of Norwich and not just locally have it focused only on the enterprise zones.
Can we get some explanation as to the project?
They have, I'm sorry, corporate counsel,
The
please.
project is spelled out. This goes back to 1979, actually, is when the council created the development district in Norwich. The statutes that are applicable in this is 12-65B, et cetera. This is a housing project where qualifies. That set of statutes sets out a deferral process over 7 years, which we propose in this case. Our code of ordinances, I think it's 7-22, that calls for the assessor and the comptroller to review a request to make a recommendation to the mayor. The mayor then brings it to the attention of the council. In this particular case, it's adjacent to the Hills at Riverview. It's the same family. They received a deferral on that project. They also built the West Ledge Apartments and received a deferral on that. They proposed to build 2 housing units, I think 24 units in each.
It's 66 total, 44 single-bedroom units and 22 two-bedroom units. They also developed the Harborview Estates up on Jail Hill. They did not receive any deferrals on that project.
So regarding this particular project, I'm assuming we're talking about unimproved lots right now?
It's an empty lot right now.
Okay. So the initial assessment will be frozen at the assessment for the land then?
The land would be continuously taxed, but the improvements, as they develop them, are not totally taxed. They're phased in. as is set out in there. So for the first 2 years on the improvements, and it's from the date of the issuance of the building permit for each of the two buildings. So one may start at a particular date, and then the second one starts a year later or whatever. They'll be phased in individually in that way.
And then, as I recall, we did provide this, I don't know what to call it, the look-alike for the other parts of the project that were done there after the initial owner, the project failed.
That's correct.
Yes, so, all right, thank you.
Thank you, sir. Are there other questions at this time? Alderman Nash.
I just want to add to the conversation. We've done this many times for many projects within the city. One of the first ones was the Pamina Mills. That would not be here today if we didn't provide this kind of assistance to them because of the fact that
NEMA's actually in the enterprise.
I know, but we still provided them this kind of a tax incentive because at the time the market crashed and the project was dead in the water. So we've done this for other projects to keep it going. And as we all know, because I do know what it's like to spend $1,000 extra on taxes. I do know what $10 more does to my family, okay? At this point, I'm spending over 50% of my pay just for medical insurance. So I understand what finances do to people and what a little bit of money increases. But if we don't have a housing stock that starts getting underneath, there are gentlemen called Norwich a ghetto, and there are some economically depressed areas within our city, but some of the rents that are in some of those areas are more than some people are paying for homes in other areas of our city. So if we don't start helping, I had employees when I worked for this other company that I got an apartment. The man was making $15 an hour and was paying $1,900 a month for a one-bedroom apartment in the certain area, and it was not worth any of that. I mean, I personally wouldn't live there. I'd rather stay in a warming center, okay? So the point is that if we don't start doing something with our housing and getting it to the point where we can get it down to at least what I would consider a reasonable amount, and I'm honest with you, $1,900 for an apartment is not reasonable, okay? So to do something like this with the prospect of getting 66 more units that could maybe, because we live in a democracy and a capitalistic system, so the more there is, the less it costs. So I'm hoping that this helps drive some of the rents down in the city so that people can get quality housing and get off the street, or at least be able to build themselves, because the young people get the apartments first and build themselves into homeowners. So let's hope that's happening. So I would be in favor of this resolution.
Thank you, Alderman Bettencourt.
Yeah, sorry, second bite, if you will. Now, as I recall, the rest of the project was all market rate housing. Is this new iteration also providing market rate housing, or is it subsidized?
I can't answer that question. I can tell you that West Ledge Development was fully market rate. Those were 2- and 3-bedroom units. It's fully occupied, 120. It's what replaced the Peachtree Apartments that had burnt down years ago. The units on Jail Hill, Harborview, the ones on the hills.
So you don't know if it's market rate?
My understanding is it is market rate, because I don't believe they participated, and in this case, they couldn't. There's no such things as federal historic tax credits on a vacant land.
That's true.
So they cannot avail themselves of that economic tool. This is new to them. I met with Alex Gebbe about a little over a year ago. They had never built single unit, but they saw a need in this market, in this city, for single unit apartments, and they're trying to address that.
From my point of view, because I don't live very far from this project, the project has been pretty successful, so.
They build quality housing so people live in a safe environment. They reinvest what they earn from one project in another project in Norwich. That's been their MO since I've been a mayor, and someone willing to continue to invest in our city is what we actually want to grow the grand list. But, yes, President Pro Tem, please.
Well, I think it also bears pointing out that that this piece of property, if anybody, for all of us that are familiar with with this area, Taft Hill and North C Street, and that vacant property up there. You know, you would imagine that the assessment on that property right now is very low. So even though we have a sliding scale of assessment deferment, the assessment on this property, once the project is built out, is going to be many, many, many times higher than the assessment is right now. And even though it has a deferment of 100% in the first 2 years, keep in mind that all during construction, right, we're gonna have people working in the city, earning living wages, because the construction industry is paying quite well. The city's gonna directly benefit because we're gonna collect on building permit fees and the like. And this program, we spoke about it a week ago. This program goes all the way back to the Hampton Inn Hotel project down on the west side on Route 82, which was essentially a brand-new building that was completely gutted out, and it was programmed like this that brought that building to life, and the fact that it now pays taxes into the city every single year, and so won't this. So to reference back to what Alderman Nash said, with the demand for housing far exceeding the supply, the project is appropriate. It's going to fill up quickly. It's going to give people a place to live in newly constructed buildings, and it will, over time, get us to the point where it is generating a ton more revenue than the property generates right now. So this is a way even for the to the detractors' points, I would say that this is a way for the city to put skin in the game to encourage development, knowing that we will get tax revenue down the road year after year after year that we wouldn't have otherwise gotten if these properties or properties like this weren't developed. And that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. Is there further comment? Alderwoman Hayes, please.
To you, Mayor, or to whoever could answer the question, because you're familiar with this particular developer, and I know you listed off some properties. So a question I have is, have we had any past tax issues with them, with the developer meeting their responsibility on the tax? And the second part of the question would be on the maintenance and upkeep of their properties.
I have not heard of any delinquent tax payments in any development that they manage or are responsible for construction of. I have been in some of the units that they built. I toured, example, Westledge Development. I've toured the Hills when they were first being built. I've been in units on Harborview, on Jail Hill. They're all quality construction, and I've never had a single call of anyone complaining ever. And currently, right now, if you add up the total number of housing units in this city, I think you're approaching over 500 that they have put into this community. They're actually approved for up to 300 units at the Hills alone, and they're actually constructing another 55 units of housing there already. I believe that's already been approved. This was approved by the Commission on the City Plan, by the way. It wouldn't be here if it didn't have that approval, and that was a while ago. They build quality housing, safe housing for the families and people that live there. That's all I've ever been told. I've not heard of any negative side.
Thank you.
Thank you for asking. Are there further questions or concerns? If not, then roll call, please.
Yes.
Alderwoman Hayes.
Yes.
Alderman Bettencourt. Alderman Gould. Alderman Singh.
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia. Mayor Nystrom.
Yes. Thank you. The resolution is adopted 7-0.
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn by Alderwoman Gould, seconded by Alderman Nash. Is there? No, there is no discussion on adjournment. Roll call, please.
Alderman Nash.
Yes.
Alderwoman Hayes. Yes. Alderman Bettencourt. Yes. Alderwoman Gould.
Yes.
Alderman Singh.
Yes.
President Pro Tem DeLucia.
Yes.
Mayor Nystrom.
Thank you. Motion passes. We are adjourned. 7-0 is the vote.